Good evening. So tonight I'm going to be introducing a smaller piece that I did in the early stages of casting pewter. This one was an all-out experimental casting involving casting pewter directly onto bone, and it was a two-part cast. So I'll get into it more when I switch over to the piece. This is called Pluto's Cherub. So, two stages that I recall. This was quite some time ago, 7 or 8 years, I believe. So the casting on the bone up to the neck, I believe, and then the head. And I rigged up something, if my recollection's correct, where there'd be about a 3/8 inch gap, or maybe a little less. And then I filled it with solid soldering. So this piece is about 6.5 inches tall, 4 inches side to side, and about 5 inches, maybe 5.5 inches deep. This is an oceanic vertebra of some kind. I found several of these, again, up in Agate Beach, Northern California, near Arcadia. And ultimately, the idea was, what would iconography look like from the standpoint of perhaps a different contextual planet. So this is Pluto's Cherub. You see these sort of wormy things in the quartz crystal, and that is the hooks that I make by hand soldering to hold the crystal in place, just for additional support. You can see where the pewter is directly fused with the bone. It has a little bit of a sheen because it's archivally sealed. And I chose to seal the bone just for the sake of having a more even hue for the color. Seemed to pull it all together much better. And ultimately, there's a lot of shininess to this piece anyway with the crystals and such. So I felt like it seemed to match the mood of the piece. Now, something that happened with this is when I cast it initially, the head, a lot of what I had embedded in the mold that I wanted the pewter to capture got covered up. I found ways to minimize that since then, but ultimately I just went back with a small pencil torch, propane, and like a little scraping tool, which you can make, like you can take an X-Acto blade and heat it up and bend it. You can make your own little digging tools if you're so inclined. And I went back, and as I was heating the pewter, it would slough off a little bit and I would dig it out. So I excavated probably about 40% of what you're seeing from the face back. I didn't touch the face or the ears, but from the top of the forehead around to the rear of the skull, all that was excavated. Of course, the surface things, they were there, but anything below the very silhouette was excavated. And then I went back in with a Dremel tool and did some additional blending so that the bone and the pewter would have a smooth transition one to the other. And you can see some interesting accidents happened. I did not plan on the seashell being one of the eyes. It's right eye. Because when I pour the head, I fill the head up with seashells, amethyst, other semi-precious stones. There might be some turquoise in there. Glass at times, although I don't think this one has any glass in it. And then I fill it up with pewter. So you never know how the shells and crystals are going to ultimately form in stasis, because everything's flowing around. So that seashell happened to land as the eye, and the amethyst as the cheeks turned out really, really good. I feel there might be a marble in there. I see something like a spherical object, and of course there's objects inside the pewter that you'll never see. You could see them maybe with an X-ray, but that goes for all the pieces I cast like this. They're definitely never to be repeated again because it's a process-oriented outcome. So this kind of free flow cannot be repeated. And just as a note, everything I show on this channel is available direct from the studio. If I do sell something, I will put it in the description as sold. And if you'd like to send me a photo of yourself with the piece in your home, happy to include it on the channel and promote anything that you've got going on as well, collaboration-wise, just in the sense of collaborating with each other and making connections, things like this. I think this was one of the first pieces I did with embedding objects in the pewter. And there may have been some sand casting as well with the bone. I may have embedded the bone in red sand, which is an oil-based sand that you can make imprints and do all kinds of different montages in the sand, and then cast into the sand the molten pewter. And the sand acts as a kind of mold. And then you lift the pewter out, clean it, brush the sand away, and you've got your piece. So the sand acts as a carriage of sorts. It holds things in place. And I'll do a demo of that soon, show you how that's done. So that's Pluto's Cherub. Poised chaos. I feel like it has a little bit of a oceanic meteorite vibe, which is a good thing. Thank you for visiting the channel. Like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment, share the channel, and thank you for your support, your comments, your encouragement. A lot going on in the world, and I've been promoting my work for a long time through different venues, and this seems to be not necessarily the end of the road, but sort of the top of the pyramid, let's say, as far as getting a kind of sharing and promotion out there in the world that is as closest to the original and experiencing the original as it can be, until we have 8K holographic capability. This is the closest. Thank you once again, and good night.